Assalamu alaikum and very good afternoon to all. As part of our monthly guest lecture series, today we are pleased to have with us Dr. Touseef Ahmed. He is an IT expert, motivational speaker, and social activist. He has done his BTech in IT and I, in electronics and technology and PhD in IT, algorithm and distributed systems. Dr. Tawsif is consultant Islamic University of Science and Technology and consultant National Institute of Fashion Technology. He is a founder Green Kashmir Revolution and MDO and CEO of Kawa Group of Colleges. We are honored to have with us Dr. Tawsif Ahmed. We have a long association with him, but in different areas. He has been associated with many other social reform activities. Possibly he is the founder of uh, NGO where we have been with him, uh, where our teams have been with him for medical checkups. He has been running Basera the Home, the NGO in across Jawaharnagar in Mahjurnagar area, along with Mr. Bashir Ahmed Sheikh Saab. And they have been providing livelihood to many women and girls with regard to their skills in computers, sewing, knitting, and they have started a pharmacy there, and also they have a clinical laboratory there. So all these things have been run by Basira. In addition, he has been associated with many other NGOs, especially uh, when he works in environmental areas, and he had many more things to his credit.
Dr. Salim has been my mentor and guide apart from introduction whatever Dr. Saab gave me, but apart from being a elder brother, he has been my mentor and guide as well. But because an IT expert, that you should have wondered that an IT expert is doing so much things into the environment and into the social activities and all that, but you never know when wherever the inspiration come, and I can proudly say that Mr. Dr. Salim Khan is my inspiration and mentor. So thank you, Dr. Saab, for that. Well, today we are connecting on a topic that is a digital literacy, right? A very important topic as far as because the previous batch who was here, we were familiar to each other. Like Dr. Saab rightly said, we have been doing a lot of medical camps on preventive medicines and all. So I think we can also join hands with this group as well to serve the society better and other things. Thank you very much. So moving forward, today's topic is introduction of the digital literacy. First of all, we have to understand when the word comes literacy, and how is literacy different from the digital literacy, right? There are various search engines. Before I move on to this presentation, I just want to add certain things. See, previously, who was an illiterate person? We have to understand a person who don't know how to read and write, right? But things have changed. Today, a person who is not digitally literate, to me, is an illiterate person, right? Because digital literacy is as important as the literacy itself nowadays, and everything has come down to on the fingertips. Before, like when we used to deliver lectures, say 5 years back or 10 years back, most probably a decade back, that time even there was a digital literacy, but it was difficult to make people understand. Now coming to any place, going to any place, now the cash flow has reduced, especially we have to be, if COVID has given us so much destruction across the world, but COVID has done wonders to this called as digital literacy. It has done wonders, because I believe that the digital platform, COVID has really, if at all, it has done the destruction all across the world. But when it comes to digital literacy, and there were people who were stubborn using certain technologies and all, but when they were left no option rather than to use that technology only, so what was the option? To use that technology only. But how safe is using a technology, and how we should use it, and that could be a like a long debate and all that. I will try to answer few of the questions. As far as I start with I will not give you the Google answers. Why? Because whenever there is a search engine, right? Search engine. Whenever something comes to your mind, immediately what we do, we start putting it on the Google. But the question is, the $1,000,000 question is, what does Google show us? Does it show us what we need, or does it show what Google wants to see you? So that is the question which we will later discuss and have a little bit of discussion on that. Moving forward on the digital literacy and all, as Dr. Saab has given a long introduction, I am Dr. Touseef. I have been, I'm an IT expert. As far as there are various fields in IT, because IT itself is as vast as a medical field itself. You cannot be master of an IT. You cannot be a master of everything. You can have a specialization on a particular thing. Like we have ophthalmology, then you have neurology, then your urology and other things. Because I am not from my 10th class, I am not a medical student. All my life I have been a IT and physics and chemistry student only. I know nothing about whatever is mechanism of a human body and all that. First of all, we will discuss about what is digital literacy and how does it relate to other literacies, which is very important, right? How does we call a person digitally literate, and who is a digital literate? For a common man, a literate person is one who knows how to read and write. But what does digital literacy, right? That will be the first point. Second is we will explore models and framework of digital literacy. This will be our second point, right? Third is digital different. Means if somebody is literate and if somebody is digitally literate, can we call them different? Digital literate, can we have different? And then we will have strategies for embedding digital literacy in your institution, like how a digital literacy can be helpful to be a better doctor tomorrow, right? How you can be a better, we'll have an overview of this, right? And then we will be discussing at last the digital literacy in practice, means we will be having some case studies wherein we will move on, right? So by digital literacy, we mean those capabilities which fit an individual for living, learning and working. Now, I tell you one thing, if somebody is like, we call he's a very phone freak, or he's very, net freak, and he always gets information from the net, right? Because most of the time in Kashmir, what I have seen, because I have been delivering lectures in universities and all, most of the time the concept of Google has not been understood properly by our students. Whatever is the reason and all that, I will not go into the detail and depth of that. But I tell you one thing, do you know why Google was created? Anybody of you can raise hand if anybody of you know why Google was created. No? Nobody. Okay, please. See, Google was not created for copy and paste like we are doing. It was not created for that. Google, the main concept of creating Google was to share the content. Whatever content you have to put it on the Google. Then there will be, see, I tell you one thing, before going to that, we have to understand our education system has been into, we have been teaching our students all their lives trading, business. But what about the technology and research? I don't know how many of you play Candy Crush. I don't know how many of you play PUBG games. I don't know how many of you play the Ludo that we used to play in our childhood. Now this is Ludo online. And you see that all the topmost ambassadors are, this marketing Ludo and other games that will be basic games. Do you know why? Because this is the part of the technology. And to your surprise, I don't know how many of you will be surprised, the revenue of Candy Crush is more than the revenue of 3 states of our country. 3 states of our country. So what have we been teaching our students all our lives? Trading. How to make 2 + 2 4. And if you are a genius, you can multiply 4 into 10, 40. That's all our education system has been revolving. But now recently there has been a headline is made by this what's called Elon Musk. He sold Twitter that has a revenue more than 2 countries itself. What is a Twitter? Where it is? Can you catch Twitter? Can you find it out? No. Even Twitter doesn't promote business till this date. Facebook has Facebook ads. They get revenue from that. Instagram gets, you can pay your ad on Instagram. But the problem is that Twitter even doesn't sell anything. Still, the revenue of Twitter is twice the revenue of the 2 countries. The question is that where are we focusing? Question is that how long we will teach our students trading only, because at the end of the day every professional has been taught like how will you multiply 2 into 4 and 4 into 8, 8 into 16, 32, 64 and so on. But at the end of the day, where have we reached? Nowhere. The revenue of the Ludo that we used to play in our childhood, now it is online. Online Ludo is there. The revenue of Ludo itself is more than the revenue of our whole this UT Jammu and Kashmir. It has more revenue than that. You can check the statistics on the net. The question is that everything lies in the research and technology. We have to be, that is why Google was actually created. I'm coming back to my point. That is why Google was created, to create the content, not to copy paste. Whatever we are doing, we are copy pasting. The thing is that what benefit we are getting from Google? Nothing. Why? Because the actual purpose was not to copy paste. The actual purpose was this, to create the technology, to create the content. If you have any content in your mind, maybe you are doing research paper on something, you will put your content on Google. There will be other people sitting across the world and seeing what content you are sharing, and they can be helpful, and there can be a group of 5 people doing the same research from 5 different continents itself, not from the 5 different states, not from the 5 different countries, but from 5 different continents. Because once you share the content on Google, that means the education system has to be revived. In order to understand the defining, what is the digital literacy, we have to then understand where does it lie. I have met a person recently, we were in Hyderabad, we have some conference there. Believe me, before man and God, he was an engineer by profession, a computer engineer, right? Then we were sitting and they were passing this paper and pen, to write down this, whatever details like name, parentage, every meeting you go, they form this, who was the present and email ID and all, mostly in the conferences. And do you know what he said to me? He said that please write down, Doctor, please write down my name and there. I said, why? No, I didn't say why, to be very frank. I just, okay, tell me. Then later he told me, I don't know how to write. He said, I don't know how to write. I was surprised. He said, are you sure? Are you making joke out of me? You are a professional person. He has worked with Google. He has worked with Microsoft. He has worked with all the top-notch companies of the world, yet he don't know how to write properly. Why? Because to my surprise, he said, once I because since the national education policy is coming in, will be implemented this year, most probably in this session, they had this way back there. I think 100 years back, they have this education policy system there, where you can choose your career after 5th, 5th or 6th. So once he has opted technology as a career, instead of giving a pen and paper, he has been given a tablet. So all his life he is using tablet. Now he don't know how to write. But I tell you one thing, the people who are sitting in this country can be the author of 100 books. But the person, the technology and the, the development and the research and the achievements he has done in his life, that are much beyond all these people who have been writing all this life. The question is that actually the Google was created to share the content, but problem is that everything gets, when it comes to, to that basic level where people get it, everything gets exaggerated. Still, it is a time. It is, if we still find, if we still use Google for creating a content, you would definitely find yourself on the top of that, where the thing has come down to one thing, that is to research and to development, research and analysis and your, whatever technology you are using, that will be only helpful if you use every tool that is available. Whatever tool is available, if you use every tool properly, then only it will be helpful for all of us. All our lives, even till some time, even I was not knowing that what for the Google was created. I also thought it was created, somebody is asking me a question. If I don't know, I will try to Google it out and give the answer. But then I realized it at my own level. I realized it, how does Google work? How is Google making this much money? There is a new concept of marketing nowadays. All of you might have been using Amazon. But what is the concept of Amazon? It's altogether a different concept now. The person, Jeff Bezos, he is the richest person in the world. How does he earn? Question is that why? Because he is using the technology part of it. He is using the research part of it. He is not using the trader. Even if at all he would have been gone into the trading, definitely he would have never been into the topmost of the richest person in the world. He uses the technology part of it, which we have to understand. He is not using trading part of it. Are you getting my point? He is not using trading part. He doesn't use trading part of Google. He doesn't use trading part of digital literacy. He left it to the people who are doing trading from years and years and years together. He tried to get the other part of it, which where we have to see our future there. That is the research and the technology part. Despite he doesn't do, Jeff Bezos doesn't own any warehouse. He doesn't have any shopping complex. He doesn't have any shopping mall. He doesn't have any franchisee. Nothing. Then how is the richest person in the world? Because he has understood what is digital literacy. So for us and for all the people who want to really do something in their lives, as far as their research part is concerned, their technology part is concerned, still digital literacy can be a basic and the important tool to do that. Because I have given you example of Twitter, I have given you example of Instagram, I have given you example of Facebook, even WhatsApp. Do you know how much was the cost of WhatsApp and then was sold? You can check out these things yourself. You will try to understand what is and how important this digital literacy is. Because the question now there, okay, then later we can say that, okay, using digital platforms, there are various threats as well. But we can, like when you are well aware about things, na, a good doctor is he knows the way and he also shows the way. Both things he knows. He doesn't know only one thing. If you know both the things, then you can be you will be called a professional in your life. You should know everything, because whatever technology comes, na, it comes with there are certain lacunas into it. It's not like one side, there is a lacuna into it, right? So for example, the skill to use digital tools to undertake academic research, like I was saying, right? Writing and critical thinking, as per personal development planning and as a way of showcasing achievement. So these are the few examples of Jeff Bezos, like Uber, Ola, Oyo. Oyo doesn't have any hotel of their own. Uber doesn't own any car. Ola doesn't own any car, but yet they earn. And they are in the top chart where they have been using digital literacy properly. And in a way, without owning a hotel, they have around 19 lakh rooms worldwide. Oyo. Figures might exaggerate, I am not sure about what, but somewhere around. Uber, it doesn't own any car. They give the rental cars. They have around 3 lakh plus cars all across the, I think, Asia only, which are associated with Uber and Ola. Question is that they have understood, उन लोगों ने understand किया. I have done 6 months internship with Google itself. That time they were in Hyderabad, so I have done internship with Google. That time I was not even able to understand how they work, because there was a lot of protocol, there was a lot of money flowing and all that. But till the time I understood myself with time, I only understand how this search engine is, how this Google is earning. Like once you Google, you do Google something, you want to purchase a phone, for example, everybody has a smartphone. But problem is that how many of you have the phone according to your requirements? How many of you? You always take, like either we take, say my friend is getting iPhone, I am also getting iPhone. Why I am getting iPhone? Because there is no technical advice available. How many of us has purchased a smartphone? First smartphone was launched in 2007, right? So whenever there is any technology that is in the market, it also creates jobs. There is one more, like when it comes to job creation and other things. But how many of us, once we choose a phone, how do we choose a phone? If you ask a random question, even I have a research on this, if we choose a random question to all the people, like you sit outside and you see 10 people, how you got your phone? It's a kid with a phone and all that. But weird answers. Huh? But the question is that what are your requirements? Do you want to click pictures? Do you want to have your phone which should have more memory? Do you want your screen, your eyes should not get affected because your screen time is more? Because one more reason that Kashmir, which we recently have researched, Kashmir has the kids which are below 15 has the highest rate of screen time that's in Kashmir itself, because of the climate and other things. I don't know, you are the better people to research on that, why the screen time in Kashmir, kids in Kashmir are more, and how to get rid of that. That has to be like we should discuss on those things, because the screen time is increasing very much. Yesterday somebody has rightly sent me this quote. He said earlier when people, because since I am wearing a spectacles, so maybe he sent him that. He said earlier in our times, one who used to use the spectacles, that time we used to call that person, he's very, like bookworm, he's very intelligent, he is all, but all these years it has changed. Now the kids are only gets I think one of my brother is also wearing. I'm not the alone in the room, and one of the sister is also wearing. So actually, earlier it was something else. It was related. I think we are four of us here who are wearing the spectacles. Huh? Yes. So earlier it was considered to be very good. Like in a family, if somebody is wearing spectacles, he is very well read, he is reading more and all that. But unfortunately, because of the intervention of smartphones and all, ये जो एजाज हमारे पास था ना, ये भी अब खो गया. हमारे पास अब ये नहीं है. आप कहते हैं ये ज़्यादा टाइम स्क्रीन पे गुजारता है, इसीलिए इसने भाई जी इसको जी इसकी आंखें खराब है. Means कि that title has been also taken from us. So moving forward, now how is digital different? This is the main important thing. We have to understand how is digital different. Means how is a digital literacy different from being a literate? First of all, we have to understand that the academic literacy, that's the learning development. I don't know when you most of you want to find the answers from the internet and all that. How do you choose to find an answer? How do you decide which is the correct answer? What is the authentication of this? इसकी ऑथेंटिकेशन क्या होती है? जब आप कोई चीज ढूंढना चाहते हैं ना, फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैं मिसाल बता रहा हूं कि बेसिकली अभी वैकेशंस होने वाली है, तो देन यू वांट टू ट्रैवल, राइट? यू वांट टू ट्रैवल, देन व्हाट विल यू डू? फर्स्ट थिंग, you will try to search cheap or best, whatever you write a word, on Google air tickets. Now how do you know what you are getting, it is the cheaper or it is the best one? How do you know? What is the authentication behind that? Because how do Google, first of all, we have to first understand. I will not go into much detail. I will make you a little bit of understand on the basic layman language, because I know you are not from the IT field, so I am trying my level best to be on the basic. I am not trying to go to the level where I am giving my presentation to people who have been into technology and all that. I know I am just trying to put it very basic. Whenever we write on Google, for example, cheap or best flight from Srinagar to Delhi, immediately you get the response. You get the response that if you are traveling on this Tuesday, if you are traveling on this Friday, there will be the rate, say 5,400, 5,300. But how do you know this is the best rate that it's given? That's what I am connecting back to my point. That is the authentication of the data. Because there's a lot of content available on Google. Everything is available. It's not the only. See, I tell you one thing. One of the main reason why China is progressing at such a speed. Do you know what is the reason? First of all, they have their own search engine. Google is not allowed there. WhatsApp is not allowed there. They don't want world to see what they are up to. They don't want world to see what they are up to. Second, very important thing, because everything you do, once you download any app in your phone, whenever you download an app in your phone, it asks for 3 permissions. Whatever this application you download, whether it is useful or it's not useful, whether it is spam or it's not a spam, but it asks for the permission of your camera, it asks for the permission of your mic, and it asks for the permission and other. So there are many other permissions which they ask, because since we are in rush and we find that this is very useful, we do yes and yes. Like whenever we buy a software, like when we start, the computer is saying that your this license is expiring in some time. Once you buy the license, the content of license is so long that nobody has ever read it. I can assure you on that. Nobody ever, being from the profession itself. Because when once I was doing my internship in the Google, there was a section who used to only write down these like these terms and conditions. There are people who write down this and they get the content. But every time what we do, we say okay. Like it's like like getting a loan from JK Bank. We start signing all those documents because there is no time with us to read down. Even there are some people who are very much conscious about what they are taking, how they are taking. Once they read 2-3 pages, then they get tired. Asa wana sign karte, we start signing. Last time when JK Bank sent us a notice, we go to our lawyer. He said, no, brother, you are not safe. You have already signed the document. Same is the case with this. That is why Alexa was recently invented, right? Why was the Alexa invented? First of all, we have to understand, right? It was a Google this app. Now we have still. Yesterday I met a person. I was very much surprised. Yesterday we had this painting competition for the kids. I was just there to judge the kids how good they are making this painting and all. There was a person who was digitally he was literate, but actually he was illiterate. And do you know how he saved my number? He gave a voice command to his phone. Now tell me one thing, whether should I call him a literate person or a illiterate person now? He gave a voice command. Once he wrote down my number, he gave voice command to his phone, and then he told me, because to my surprise, this is first time I have seen someone doing this. Means saving a number, then not writing it because he don't know how to write. He gave a voice command, Dr. Touseef Ahmed, and all of a sudden Dr. Touseef Ahmed, he said save, done. This is the power of the digital literacy. It was just yesterday only. The question is that whenever you give all the permissions, and tomorrow you wonder, you can do one thing. You do search on Google. If Amazon is on your phone, if Myntra is on your phone, if Flipkart is on your phone, all these marketing platforms, you search something on the Google. I think you might be doing that. You must be looking for a good winter coat, a scarf, or some books or something like that. How come the same ad comes in the Amazon? All of a sudden next morning you wake up, or sometime, because every time you get access to the microphone, it's not the microphone only. It's your life. It's what you speak to your friend. It's what you talk to your friends. It's all like there, and it keeps on searching. Once you keep a Alexa in your kitchen, and Alexa is installed in your kitchen, and you give the command, Alexa, there is a very famous song going on, Nazneen Yaar, play Nazneen song for me, and Alexa is playing. But apart from that, you are talking in your in your kitchen that we want to buy the 50-inch LG TV. Alexa is doing its work. It's not only serving you the song. He's not only serving the Noor Muhammad and this other, my friend Aditi. He's not this song. It's actually catching the voices, whatever we are talking. Not in the, see, we will not say the other side of it, but the one side of it is the marketing side. It's a marketing side, because this is how Jeff Bezos is the richest person in the world. Sometime I am intending to buy a phone. I want to buy an iPhone 14. I am trying to find the I don't want to buy it. I want to just find the specifications. What is the camera specification? Because being an expert, I will not buy a phone like this only. I will definitely see, and I will always advise people whenever they want to buy a phone. I always advise them, tell me your requirements. If a person goes to a doc, definitely a doctor will try to understand his BP, the blood pressure, the blood sugar levels and other things, because these are the basic parameters. I'm not good at medicine and all, right? But these are the parameters. Same is the case with me. If somebody wants to buy a phone, I will definitely love to hear what are the parameters on which I will set a phone for the person, so that tomorrow he should get the benefits what he wants to do. Question is now, when you are giving permission. See, if tomorrow you will say that I won't give permission, I will download any app, I will not give the permission. But the app will not be get downloaded, because there is a terms and condition which is into the software itself. Everything is a software. Software means it comes with all details and all that. When it comes with that, it is there. If this person doesn't give you the permission for the microphone, for the camera, you will not get it, the app. But since everybody is in a very, we are in a hurry and all that to do that and get that information or whatever, we give permission to it. Once you give the permission, that means that is connected somewhere with your all these marketing platforms, like Myntra is there, like Amazon is there, Flipkart is there, and there are so many which we all are using now. And in one of the recent research, people after COVID are more into digital platforms than they were before, because COVID has shown us many things. Like, we can run the hospitals without having the OPD rush, because in COVID time there was no OPD rush. I think SMHs are around, I don't know, you are the right person to tell me the exact figure, but I think 2,000 to 3,000 doctors we have per day. But where has that rush gone? COVID has, because COVID actually has made us understand that digitally we can live as well. There are Zoom calls now. People don't go to offices and do this. There is Zoom has like, if it's not paid, it is for the 40 minutes, right? If I'm not wrong, 45 minutes for free of cost. But if you buy it, you purchase the license and all, then you can actually, because piracy is a big thing in digital world. It's a very big thing. You buy a software, you go to buy a laptop. He says he charges you for the same configuration 40,000 rupees. You go to the other person, he charges you 35. Now definitely as a layman, you will definitely go and you will see the configuration is same, authentication of the shopkeeper, authentication of the product, you will definitely try to save your 5,000 rupees. But the problem is that with the authentication, with the software, hardware you can touch, but software we cannot touch. What is in my mind, nobody can touch that. But anybody can touch my head, because this is the hardware, I am the hardware. But what is my thoughts, nobody can touch that. We go for the cheaper version because we want that, because we are saving 5,000, but we are not saving. I am telling you, being a digital literate, we are not saving. Sometimes we get a, like for example, we have to update our iOS. There are two types of like interface. One is the Android and another is the this iOS. That is this iPhone's operating system. If we go to that, like I will just touch that because a big topic, will not go there. iOS, not all applications work on iOS. How many of you are using iPhone here? Okay. Is it like you want to have an iPhone or you buy an iPhone? There's a difference for me. To me, there's a difference. One who wants to have an iPhone and one who buys an iPhone. He knows why I am buying an iPhone. Is it that, or it's like it's an expensive phone, that's why? Because one of the research has been in India. It's a very surprising. I am using iPhone from when it was iPhone 2, from that time. But being an expert, because I know my transactions are not that much safe in bank that are on iOS. Why? Because iOS sell only one thing. If you have recent ad of iPhone 13, if you remember, any of you, there was an ad coming in the on the television, on the TV. That ad was, they sell only privacy. They don't sell the hardware. Mind it. The cost of having an iPhone and an MI phone is almost same. An MI phone and an iPhone, the cost is same, the hardware cost is same. But iPhone sells the security. Their customers are 110% sure that they are secure. And one important factor. One of the research has shown that in India, 70% of iPhone users, 70% iOS users don't know. 70% of iOS users don't know 90% of functions of iOS. This is a research. 70% ऐसे iPhone user है जिनको 90% क्या है iPhone और क्यों है, कैसे है, they don't know. Because hardware wise it is same. Then what they sell? They sell security. And what does in a digital platform all you need? That is the digital security. ये नहीं है कि it's not कि Android is not safe. It's not Android is not safe. But when it comes to, if you are doing lot of transactions, online, if you are doing lot of payments online, and your business is to that level where you want to keep yourself to that secure, and security should be the first priority for you, then definitely you should buy an iPhone. But if you are buying it for the sake of it, then it's of no use. Because why has been Xiaomi and exceptional case in India and has made such a inroads in India? It has become the number one, it has become the number one company in India. Why? Because it provides the same hardware what iPhone is providing in 5 times more cost. The hardware is same, but still, since it is Android based, it is definitely not that much safe, you can say. Or you can say that it is not safe at all. Why? Because Android doesn't sell security. It only sell one thing, that's the hardware. You pay me 20,000 rupees, I give you a hardware in 20,000. Hardware cost is same, but they sell the security because they have proven it time and again. You might have known that there was a case, I think 3 years back, yes, there was a case with the FBI. That is the highest investigation agency. They want iPhone to crack one of the customers. There was some, you might have known that was in news. But iPhone denied. Why? They said we cannot do it. Why they cannot do it? Because they sell security. If you are selling something and you give access to somebody to that, you will have no customers. So people who know what iPhone is and why. And one more important thing, which is big difference between, to me as an expert, between the Android and iPhone. iPhone works on your thermal, what's called this thermal heat, a body which produce thermal heat, right? It works on that. If you have a fingerprint on your iPhone, God forbid if somebody dies, the data goes with him. But in Android, it's not the case. Android, you can also copy your fingerprint. I can easily, because there is one more section to it that is called as hacking. There are a lot of accounts that get hacked, and in Kashmir we are very much aware about those things because we are living in that place where this is a very common thing. Hacking the accounts, hacking the phones and all this. And to do the hacking, you don't need to be a literate. But you definitely need to be a digitally literate. And in the world, the best hackers have never been to school. Because it's all about the tool. It's the tool. You get the carpenter home, but if he doesn't have the tools, even whatever best carpenter you bought, He cannot make a cupboard, he cannot make a like ceiling and all that. He will only make it when he has the best tools available with him. Hacking is that sort of thing. So actually it's like going to be very like, now technology really matters. Where does it matter? Digital literacy leads to taking a stance on whether technology is neutral or socially constructed. You have to first understand every information. There is an information flow on Google or internet like anything. But the problem is that how much information and how much authentication is that, how much in that information is authentic. वो कितनी authentic है? जहाँ से मैंने आपको बताया, basically I will connect the dot again. Once you search cheap tickets, then how cheap are they and how best tickets they are? How does it depend? How do you believe in that? Whatever data you retrieve from the internet, how authentic is that? Because authentication is very important. That's why I say how much socially constructed that information is. Advices anybody can give. You roam around, you go to your home, you go to your uncle's home, your grandparents' home. Everybody gives you an advice. But question is that where from you take the advice, that's what matters. Where from you take the content and how much authenticated that content is. Where you are cross-checking your content. That is very important in this digital world. It's very important, that is how authenticated that data is, what you are getting. अगर आपने फॉर एग्जाम्पल डेटा कहीं से लिया, आपने जी फॉर एग्जाम्पल यू आर डूइंग सम रिसर्च एंड यू वांट टू सी हाउ मेनी रिसर्चेस आर देयर हु हैव बीन ऑलरेडी डन एंड व्हाट आर द कंटेंट दे हैव क्रिएटेड. लेकिन गूगल में क्या, हाउ डज गूगल फर्स्ट अर्न, ये मैं थोड़ा आपको आइडिया दूंगा. दिस इज अ ब्रांच ऑफ IT, इट्स कॉल्ड एज ऑप्टिमाइजेशन. व्हाट डज ऑप्टिमाइजेशन मीन? इफ आई पे गूगल मनी and you search top IT experts of J&K, my name will be on the top. Rather I am an expert or not, that hardly matters, because it work on that basis. The moment you type best cheap tickets, there are different sellers tickets, like air, who sell air tickets and all. The person who pays more, it was a time when iBibo used to pay more. Now there is a Agoda has come up now with this. There was iBibo, there was this Make My Trip, there are other things. This is how you pay Google, and definitely that is why I always say Google is not what you want to see. Google is not any search engine, paid search. These are paid search. It is not what you want to see, but it is what they want you to show. What they want to show and that you should see. It's not what you want to see. There's a difference. मैं क्या देखना चाहता हूँ, मुझे क्या दिखाया जाता है, ये दो अलग अलग चीजें. That's why digital literacy leads to taking a stance on whether the technology is neutral or it is socially constructed. Whether this information is socially constructed or not. That is why where the technology matters the most. Second, technology is an area that causes anxiety among some disciplined teachers as well, because sometimes a teacher, when he wants to prepare a lecture and anything else, he can get confused easily because there is lot of content available. अगर हम basically अब चलो ठीक है कि basically we have professional teachers when it comes to a professional college or professional place, but there are other teachers who have to prepare a thirsty crow. Once upon a time there was a thirsty crow, but if you search on internet, there are 10 different stories of that thirsty crow. Now the teacher is confused. Which one is correct? Which one to take? Which one not to take? That's why I said authentication of a data is very important. Very important. Until and unless you don't find the data and you have to cross-check whether it is authenticated or not. The third point about the technology matters is that if taught outside the curriculum, digital literacy, disconnect and disassociation. You have to be on the curriculum, otherwise there is so much data flow, everybody will get confused. Everybody will get confused until and unless his take on data and his take on that particular content is not verified with some other source as well, until and unless it is a disassociation and it is a disconnect with the context or discipline. The students don't transfer what they learn. They don't transfer. Whatever you learn on Google, you copy paste and you do you research and make your projects and all that. You will never learn from that. This is even my personal experience. Being a teacher myself, I know people only learn what they learn. What they copy somewhere and they want to paste it, because it's not the situation. Everything cannot be copy pasted. For me, situation can be different. For you, situation can be altogether different. It doesn't remain same for even two people studying the same course, two people studying in the same class, same same place and same profession. It can be different for two different people. That is why authentication is very important. That's why technology only matters when you definitely take the content and verify that and cross check that content. That's very important, right? So this is a myth. I have just trying to show you a picture of myth of the digital native जो है पहले कैसे था. तो first of all you go to the library, you used to go to the library and find the book and author and all that. That has all changed. That on the other side of the screen you can see that two people are sitting. One is trying to study from the, because the problem with the books is that most of the books on internet are not free of cost. They are paid. And 99.9% of the people don't have to pay it, like paid content. Why? Because free content is available. How authentic that content is, that is the question to be asked, how authentic that is. But most of the time we want to download MS Office. Where from to get it? Go to the authorized person. He will charge you 10,000 rupees. Professional 3,000-4,000 rupees for your home use. But somebody, you call a person like who is a half gig, you tell him I want this software. Arey Google पे download करो. But what else he is bringing with that, you never know. Whenever you download a file from the Google, what is coming with that, you don't know. And virus. COVID has given a good definition because that also was a virus. Same is in the digital world. It's a virus. Whenever you get a virus, because since our data, because we have not done research. अगर हम लोगों ने research किया होता ना, हमें पता होता कि we cannot download anything that is not pertaining to our work, because nothing, there are no free lunches around, my dear friends. There are no free lunches around the world. Whenever you want to download something for free, it comes with something which is in your system, and maybe tomorrow it will cost you double the cost, whatever was the cost of the actual software. That is to be understood, right? So this is a picture so that you can understand what is the myth of the digital okay, what's the model of digital literacy? This is very important. We will touch one by one. First is e-safety, right? How safe and how safe is your data, whether it's in your laptop, whether it's in your computer, whether it's on your phone. How safe is that? That's first point. Then you should have some functional skills to have, to secure your data and to retrieve your data. Important is not, because there are n number of options now available. Earlier, if at all you used to buy a phone, you have to go to expert and tell him, please transfer the contacts, right? And most of the time people were afraid of selling their old phones, despite all the conditions. Why? भाई अब ये data कौन transfer करेगा? अब जाना पड़ता था वो memory card, there was a system of copying it to the memory card and then putting back to your phone. It was a hectic job. Now that has been gone. You have an Android phone or iOS phone, you have iCloud, and you have the Android, these MI phones and Oppo, Vivos and all, they have their own clouds now. Cloud is a server, like a server where they store your all data. How safe is that data? That I cannot say how safe is that, but they are keeping it. For example, you are keeping something in the cupboard, whether that cupboard has the back door also or not, that we are not sure. But definitely, if not, you are not buying an authentic cupboard, then you are buying, somebody is telling you the digilockers. You put something in the digilocker, but how safe those lockers are or not, that has to be seen. Then creativity is very important, critical thinking and evaluation. Cultural and social, understandings are very important. When it comes to digital literacy and all, we have to understand, because what is the biggest, drawback of these digital platforms right now? God forbid if all of us get a message on the WhatsApp right now that something has happened outside. We start believing into it. We start believing and we will start running here and there. Without checking the authentication of the news, we start sending it and forwarding it to. Now that is why you might be knowing that even WhatsApp has restrained that you cannot forward a same message to n number of contacts. You cannot do that. Earlier it was not there. Because every time, in digital world, if you don't provide security, that's what I said, iOS is selling security. That is why it is customers are growing. A person who is a digitally literate and he know why he is using an iPhone, rates and price doesn't matter to him, because he knows it doesn't come in, Android might be cheap, but the cost of putting your data there is not that secure and all. That is why a person buying an iPhone, until and unless he is not buying, मेरे cousin ने भी लाया है, मेरे दोस्त ने भी लाया, until to that level, अगर उस level का नहीं ला रहा है ना, तो definitely he will buy an iPhone, because he is getting a security, he is getting a lock, that lock which he knows that at to some extent it is secure. Rather than, it's not like that everybody is not in a position to afford, but iPhone also launches the other versions of iPhone which are cheaper, which we should know as well. It's not like iPhone 14 is 1,30,000 rupees. There are other versions of iPhone available, because the iOS is same. जो आप कबर्ड ला रहे हो ना, जो आप अलमारी ला रहे हो जिसमें अपना डेटा रख रहे हो, वो iOS में सब में सेम है. जरूरी नहीं है कि महंगा वाला वर्जन खरीदो. देयर आर अदर वर्जन्स व्हिच आर अवेलेबल विद द कंपनी. इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट कि वो खाली वही वाला बेचते हैं. हाँ, एंड्रॉइड वाला ये होना चाहिए बेसिकली मेरे हिसाब से. एंड्रॉइड फोन इज लाइक अवॉइड, यू शुड अवॉइड. अगर आपके पास कोई ऑथेंटिक प्लेटफॉर्म नहीं है, आपको जैसे मैं अभी एमपे का डिलाइट लॉन्च हुआ था जनवरी में, इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग, ठीक है, वो 3 महीने एंड्रॉइड पे चला लेकिन iOS पे नहीं चलता था. पता है ना सबको. वो वहां से भी एक कनेक्ट हम कर सकते हैं कि iOS तब तक कोई चीज अपने में अलाउ नहीं करता जब तक उसको नहीं लगता है कि ये इस पोजीशन में है कि अपने आप को प्रोटेक्ट कर सकता है. बिकॉज एमपे डिलाइट वाज दैट टाइम लॉन्च्ड ऑन एंड्रॉइड. उस टाइम क्या था कि जो एंड्रॉइड था, एंड्रॉइड में आप देखिए, मैं आपको सिंपल बात बताऊं, आप एक ऐप बनाना चाहते हैं, टुमारो यू डू सम रिसर्च और आप एक ऐप बनाना चाहते हैं कि आप कोई पेशेंट है, वो डॉक्टर साहब के पास कैसे पहुंचेगा. अगर आप ऐप बनाना चाहते हैं ना, ऐप एंड्रॉइड में 99.9% फ्री होता है. देयर इज नो चार्जेस फॉर दैट. यू कैन पुट एन ऐप, एक छोटा मोटा एक ऐप बना के आप एंड्रॉइड पे डाल सकते हैं. लेकिन iOS में ऐसा, दे विल डेफिनेटली चार्ज यू फॉर दैट, बिकॉज दैट्स व्हाट वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट, ई सेफ्टी. कि मतलब वो सिर्फ इस चीज को रेगुलाइज कर रहे हैं कि वो दे आर मोर कंसर्न अबाउट सेफ्टी. हार्डवेयर इज सेम. To my knowledge, MI is giving more cheaper hardware than iOS. MI. But Samsung even. All the Android phones. Hardware is same, but since their security is there, and now iPhone has understood this thing. That the ads which are coming for iPhone now, they are only selling now 2 things. One is the camera, and another is the privacy. They once they shoot their ads in the on the US and UK, they only sell their, you have big hoardings in UK where you have iPhone, like launching 13, iPhone 14, but on the tagline is privacy. No camera, no nothing, because now the company has understood this market, that they have to sell their products according to the need of the customers, right? So this is how to do this, for a learner, what are the things that has to be, what you should learn to have this information literacy. What are the transitions of higher education, becoming an independent leader. I think this topic I won't touch here. It will be beyond this. So this is guiding principle. You can see you are standing, and this is the guiding principle for digital literacy. Path, it is showing left, right. There is no other, because it is showing you everywhere. Whenever you search something, it is showing you everything. Now it is your decision which way you have to go. Until and unless you cross check your way, because path is on all the sides. It can be very confusing at times until and unless you don't have the authentication of the content. Otherwise this will be like that only. It will be showing. Now you have to decide whether to go left or to go right or to go straight, because the authentication has to be decided by the customer itself, right? Okay. So this is the conclusion summary which I have made. There are many overlaps with the information and academic literacies. If an author launches a book, another author launches the same book, they have the same content. Now you have to decide which one is authentic. वो आप लोगों को खुद decide करना पड़ेगा. उसके बाद digital literacy is not a generic skill, it's a conceptual. और जो digital literacy is not, it's a functional. देखिए इसमें coding. अब जो नया concept है ना, I will conclude with this. जो नया concept है ना, वो coding का है. आप देखिए White Hat Junior. White Hat Junior is very much pressing students of 5th class, 6th class to go into coding. Why? Because with coding you understand how do we code. What do we understand by code in a layman language? For example, we have codes, like doctors have codes, they write the medicines and all, right? It's like they write it's not the code, they write something, they write whichever way they write, or something I want to communicate with my group, there should be a code for the group. Like for the red there should be a separate code, for the green there should be a separate code, for white there should be a separate code, for all the colors there will be different codes. That is why it is necessary for all our kids to learn coding, and that too at the age of maybe 6, 7 or 8 they can learn the coding, so that they can create small these web pages, they can create small applications, they can go and create their own since we were talking other day, I was here other day, we were talking about this now the new system which we are installing in our homes, and very soon that will be available in the market. Like you want to go home and you have a rice cooker there, you have programmed it that once I am coming back from my office, you have to put it on your phone, everything will be associated, it will be on a single click of your phone, that everything in your home, electricity, I mean to say, your fridge, washing machine, this water, motors, what we use for the pumping of water and all that, they all will be having a common circuit wherein you can do all your, you want to have your geyser put your on and off, you can still do it from your phone. Just you have to invest a small amount of money where you can put, and you should have Wi-Fi connection connection means internet should be there, it should be connected with your phone. These all things can be regulated. जो भी आपके घर में home appliances है ना, that we can do right now without that much like expenses and all that. We can manage your washing machine, we can manage your rice cooker, we can manage your electricity, we can manage your geysers and all these like gadgets. We can manage them right from your phone without using much of it, right? Now we have come to that point. We have to use technology wisely. That's my only advice. And like the thumb rule is wisely. Whatever you don't need, don't search those websites. Whatever you do is not your domain. And very important, whenever you want to purchase anything from a digital platform, make sure you only purchase from the authentic marketing, like Amazon. There is a like Dr. rightly said, what is the authentication and certification? There is certification available in the internet. First of all, don't search. If at all you see a jacket, a coat, right? You know that common cost of a like a woolen coat is around somewhere 1500, 2000, 4000, right? If somebody is offering me for 1000 rupees, please and please don't even look to these websites. Despite they are saying 90% discount, 80% discount, don't fall prey to these things. Number one, use your brain. First thing. Second, don't search unnecessary things on Google. Like you want to listen to a song, no problem. You listen to a song and Google, please play a song to me, this any Kashmiri song or whatever. That is okay with it. And try to get into more voice commands. Try to get into more voice commands. Because once you give it to the voice command, it will most try to minimize that risk. Voice commands. And second thing, whatever transaction is you made, right? Whatever transaction is you made, make sure that your phone has not got virus off late, or there is no virus in your phone. In every Android phone, there is an option for scan your phone. You should do it every evening before you go to sleep. Make it a habit. Scan your phone. If at all there is a threat. Now, if there is a threat and you don't find any solution, while you have a threat in your phone as virus, don't use any this what's called this financial platform till the time that threat gets over, because you never know the person. अभी आप देखिए नॉर्मल क्या हो रहा है कश्मीर में, किसी को कॉल आ रहा है, उसको बोल रहा है कि हम SBI से कॉल कर रहे हैं, 2 मिनट के बाद उसको बोल रहे हैं कि आपको OTP है. Never, this is a punchline of today's this topic. Never ever share your one-time password, that is OTP, because no website in the world asks for it. Nobody. इथे जो मी का याद कश्मीर पढ़ते वन उर्दू पढ़ते वन बता अंग्रेजी पढ़ते वन. Don't ever use. अगर आपका friend, अगर आपका brother, अगर आपकी sister, अगर आपकी mother, I mean to say, like this one, because there is no technology available which asks us for the one-time password. It has to be. And don't, one more important thing, don't copy paste your OTPs. Please remember this always, for the safety point. Don't copy paste it. Authentic website is always say don't copy. You have to write down it, or if you copy it there ना, because हमारे लिए अगर one of my friend on a lighter note, अब जो भी सुनाऊंगा थोड़ा आप ज़्यादा सीरियस हो गए हो, बोर हो गए, तो मैंने उसको कहा भाई तुमने बीटेक किया कंप्यूटर्स में, आप कौन सा तुम्हें सॉफ्टवेयर आता है? बोला सॉफ्टवेयर क्या आता है, मुझे तो कॉपी पेस्ट सारा आता है. तो हमारे लिए मोस्टली कंप्यूटर रिलेटेड वेज, तो कॉपी आप कर सकते हो बट डोंट पेस्ट इट, राइट इट विद योर like with your own fingers, type it down, type, don't copy paste your OTPs. this is very important, क्योंकि सबसे बड़ा फ्रॉड कहाँ पे होता है? एवरी वेबसाइट उन्होंने OTP रखा होता है. मिस्टेक इज फ्रॉम आवर साइड बिकॉज वी आर नॉट digitally literate. We have to make ourselves digitally literate. Or this is a reply to your question, that whenever there is a lot of, everything comes with the flaws. Technology is with the flaws. No doubt about that. There is a flaw, but you should know if you are, अगर आपके if you have a knife in your kitchen ना, it can kill a person, but it can definitely, without a knife in the kitchen, there will be no meals available in the evening or next day. Because if I ask my mother or my wife to prepare a meal, the first thing which is required is a knife, but you can also kill a person with that knife. So the choice is yours, whether you use it for to kill someone, or the choice is yours, you want to make some butter chicken or something else. Before that, I don't want this session to get very boring. I just want to share a very short, because in my profile you have seen I'm a motivational speaker as well, right? So I want to share so that you will not feel bored and all that. Just 2 minutes. मैं आज आपको फिर से वही कहानी सुनाना चाहता हूँ जो आपने बचपन में सुनी है, हेयर एंड द टॉर्टोइस. सबने सुनी है ना, हेयर एंड द टॉर्टोइस, वही बताऊंगा, ठीक है? तो कछुआ था और खरगोश था, उन्होंने कहा रेस करेंगे. कछुआ सो गया, सॉरी खरगोश सो गया और कछुआ आगे पहुंच गया. सो नंबर 1 लेसन ऑफ योर लाइफ, दैट स्लोली एंड स्टडी विन्स द रेस. इतना हमने सबने सुना है, इससे थोड़ा आगे लेके चलते हैं आज, ठीक है? तो अब उसके बाद क्या हुआ, अब खरगोश ने इसको बोला वैसा गलती वलती हो गई, चलो यार फिर से रेस करते हैं, एक बार फिर से रेस करते हैं. उसने कहा चलो ठीक है कोई बात नहीं, इस बार तो खरगोश ने पता है, वो उठ के चला गया और अपनी मंजिल पे पहुंच गया। ही रीच टू हिज प्लेस मच बिफोर। तो उससे हमें क्या नसीहत मिली? पहला था स्टडी एंड स्लोली एंड स्टडी विंस द रेस। ये पुरानी कहानी थी, अब नया हम इसको करते हैं ऐड। तो once they again agreed on this, what they did, they start the race again, and obviously तो खरगोश को तो जीतना ही है, खरगोश जीत गया। तो इससे हमें ये सबक मिलता है, we get a lesson that in our life failures are not permanent, but don't take your success to your head and don't take your failures to your heart. कभी भी नहीं जिंदगी में। तो अगर आपको कहीं लगता है कि उस दिन मुझे नींद पड़ गई थी, वी हैव अनदर चांस, एंड उसके बाद क्या हुआ? खरगोश ने जीता। उसके बाद हमें ये पता चला, वी हैव लर्नड अ लेसन। व्हाट इज द लेसन इन दैट? लेसन इज वेरी सिंपल, दैट कि यू हैव टू कीप योर मिस्टेक्स इन योर माइंड। अपनी गलतियों को हमेशा अपने दिमाग में रखो, मगर दिल में कभी नहीं, ठीक है? अब इसका थर्ड पार्ट भी मैंने बनाया है। अब क्या हुआ? अब उसने भी एक बार जीता, इसने भी एक बार जीता, अब तीसरी बारी आई। अब इसने इसको कहा चलो भाई ठीक है फिर से रेस करते हैं। अब तो आपने कहा अब एक बार रेस होती है। उसने कहा ठीक है, मगर इस रास्ते पे नहीं करेंगे, हम कोई और रूट ले लेंगे। उन्होंने तीसरा रूट ले लिया, ठीक है, मतलब डिफरेंट रूट लिया। इस बार क्या हुआ? खरगोश ने कहा यार ये क्या मुझसे अब जीतेगा, एक दिन मुझे क्या नींद पड़ गई, अब ये रोज जीतेगा, अब ऐसा पॉसिबल नहीं है। बोला जहाँ से मर्जी है दौड़ेंगे वहाँ से। ये जब दौड़ने लगे, आगे पानी आया। खरगोश पानी में जा नहीं सकता है। जो कछुआ था पानी को तैयार करके चला गया। तो इससे क्या सबक हमें मिला? जब तक आपको अपनी स्ट्रेंथ नहीं पता हो ना, डोंट चैलेंज एनीवन इन योर लाइफ, यू शुड नो योर स्ट्रेंथ्स। अब तक जब आपको अपनी, हमेशा हम गलती एक करते हैं ना, हमें लगता है कि अब तो ये बेचारा मुझसे रोज ही कमजोर है। उसने कहा चलो फिर से रेस लगाते हैं, लेकिन इस बार उसने कहा रेस लगाएंगे लेकिन उस वाले साइड से जहां से मैं बोलूंगा। बोला यार तुम जमीन में कहीं से भी मुझे दुड़ाओ, मैं तो हमेशा तुमसे आगे ही जाऊंगा। लेकिन इस बार पानी का मसला था, क्योंकि खरगोश को क्या हुआ? ओवर कॉन्फिडेंस। एंड मोस्ट ऑफ अस एज अ स्टूडेंट्स ना, वी र्यून अवर कैरियर्स इन ओवर कॉन्फिडेंस। को लगता है ये, लेकिन आप पहले जब तक अपनी मंजिल का, अपने कैरियर पाथ का जब तक आप एनालिसिस ना करो ना, कमिटमेंट कभी मत करो, ठीक है? फिर इसका लास्ट भी है, ठीक है, इसको ज्यादा आगे नहीं लेते हैं। अब खरगोश को पता चला ये तो भाई मसला हो गया। उसने कहा यार अब तो तुमने मुझे हराया, मैं और कॉन्फिडेंट भी था, लेकिन अब इस बार मैं, तो बोला ठीक है। तो लेकिन कछुए ने एक शर्त रखी। कछुए ने कहा इसी रास्ते पे दौड़ना है भाई, वहां से नहीं दौड़ना है जहां से तो मुझे हराता है। बोला कोई बात नहीं है, लेकिन इस बार हम क्या करेंगे, दिस इज फॉर यू, हाँ, तो ऑल ऑफ यू आर द स्टूडेंट्स, ऑल ऑफ यू। तो उसने कहा दोनों इसी रास्ते पे। अब खरगोश सोच रहा है भाई साहब ये तो वहीं से पानी में दौड़ाएगा, मैं तो वहां पानी में जा नहीं सकता हूं। बोला कोई बात नहीं है। इस बार खरगोश जब जमीन पे था, जब ये जमीन पे दौड़े, तो जो कछुआ था वो खरगोश के पीठ के ऊपर, जब पानी में गए तो दे चेंज इट, यानी कि आप कछुआ और खरगोश उसकी पीठ पे। तो जिंदगी में दोस्त उनको बनाओ जो आपकी वीकनेस हो, उनको अपने दोस्त बनाओ, उनको अपने साथ अपने ग्रुप में रखो, ताकि जब भी आप कभी जिंदगी में लो फील करो ना, दे शुड पिक यू अप। और जब वो आपको अपनी स्ट्रेंथ उनको, क्योंकि कभी कभार क्या होता है, एक ग्रुप में 10 बच्चे हैं बिल्कुल एक क्लास सारे ग्रीन जोन, दूसरे बैच में बेचारे ऑरेंज जोन, तीसरे जोन में रेड जोन। दुनिया ऐसी नहीं चलती है। हाउ वी हैव टू, जब तक हम एक दूसरे का हाथ खींचेंगे ना, उससे इंसान को क्या होता है, ये मतलब हमने प्रैक्टिकल देखा है। मैंने कहा ना कि सोशल वर्क में हमने एक चीज सीखा है कि वी आर ट्राइंग टू होल्ड एवरीबडीज हैंड, और हमारा हाथ पता नहीं कौन पकड़ रहा है, हम उनसे भी आगे जा रहे हैं, हम कभी पीछे नहीं गए। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
We are very much thankful for his guest lecture, wherein he inculcated lot of things among us and make us wiser and put lot of scare among us about our gadgets, and made this phone an enemy with us. We are carrying an enemy with us, so that it's true that it always works. Our camera is always working, our microphone is always working, even if you don't speak or you don't use your camera, it's always working. We have an example with Inam Saab, that he was just talking someone, and the thing which he was talking with someone popped up on his Facebook. So such things do happen. So it's not
Yes, it is there.
it's always there. Even if you have a phone here and you are talking, some security agency is listening to you.
Yes,
Even
yes.
that, it's always there. And that's why nowadays many phones have cameras which are popped up cameras,
Yes.
because the cameras are always on.
Oh, yes.
If you look into your phone, at least you have allowed more than 2-3 dozen apps permission to use your phone and use your microphones, so they are using it. But so that is the thank you, Touseef sir,
Pleasure, sir.
for it was really an honor, and everyone is I believe well aware and awake with whatever you talked, and during this cold winter days you made us aware of a lot of things and kept the tempo going on. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Small memento from the department. Sharing this legacy of this type of memento.